Welcome to the Big Four Accounting Firms podcast, brought to you by big4accountingfirms.com. If you enjoy our show, don't forget to help us out by subscribing to this podcast, sharing it with a friend, and providing us with a review on iTunes. Check out the show notes below for the link. Thanks, and enjoy the show.
Today I wanted to discuss an article that recently came out in Forbes that speaks specifically about how E&Y, PwC, and Deloitte are all embracing artificial intelligence to grow their businesses and change their clients' lives. The author of this article was Adelyn, and the title of the article is EY, Deloitte, and PwC Embrace Artificial Intelligence for Tax and Accounting. And this article appeared on Forbes.com. I'll include a link in the show notes. Now, Adelyn first covered how each firm approached the development of artificial intelligence solutions for their practices. E&Y takes their development from a business perspective first, as opposed to just looking at the tech side before getting started. And the way PwC develops their AI solutions is they use 4-week-long artificial intelligence sprints using what is called an agile software development method. And during these month-long sprints, they take something from developmental stages to all the way to implementation. And the way Deloitte approaches development is they have a 70-member innovation team that devotes 80% of their time to coming up with AI solutions. From this, you can see that AI is very important to the Big Four accounting firms from these three examples. After going through how the Big Four develop their artificial intelligence solutions, the article then goes into some use cases for artificial intelligence. And the first use is NLP, also known as natural language processing. And natural language processing is a form of artificial intelligence where natural language is analyzed by computers. And the article first gives an example of the use of natural language processing to comb through documents and contracts, and how it has the ability to comb through thousands of legal documents in a limited amount of time. And from my experience, there are actually legal companies on the internet that are currently using natural language processing to offer legal discovery services and also legal research. And these tools would replace the humans currently doing that. And this isn't only the Big Four that's using NLP for legal purposes. Deloitte specifically said they use natural language processing to comb through documents and find changes in control provisions. And this work used to take Deloitte 6 months, and now it takes the software less than a month to complete. Now, one way that E&Y uses this type of artificial intelligence technology is by using it to review lease accounting standards. And the way it is used by E&Y is that every time there's a change in lease standards, companies have to search through thousands of leases and comply with new standards. Now, what the software that E&Y uses is more efficient, and it's better than the human counterparts in many instances. And it does the same work that the humans do. Another way that Deloitte uses this NLP technology is through mergers and creating synergies in procurement standards. What this means is that there are some things that both the acquiring company and the target do similarly in their accounts payable and receivable data. And the review of that is normally performed manually, but this software now does it faster and more efficiently. And those are just some of the ways that the Big Four use NLP in my experience, but those are the examples that Adelyn chose to cover. I know of cases where the Big Four use NLP to search through prospectuses of investments to search for whether the security complies with the Volcker rule. And one of the biggest uses of NLP right now in the Big Four is in the partnership compliance space for tax practices. There are lots of statements that come with K-1s that result from partnership investments. And the Big Four firms are using NLP to help clients understand their filing obligations that result from these statements. And the next thing that Adelyn and Forbes go into in this article is utilizing machine learning for anomaly detection. An example that's given in the article is using machine learning to detect anomalies in invoices. And one of E&Y's clients processes millions of invoices each year and uses the system to identify the faulty ones. And this service is valuable for detecting fraudulent invoices that involve international parties, and it helps avoid the serious consequences that result from violating sanctions, anti-bribery regulations, or other aspects of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. And EY's fraud detection system has 97% accuracy, and it has been rolled out for over 50 companies. Now, I know that machine learning applied to invoices is currently being tested and rolled out on many Big Four audits too. And this helps make invoice testing much more efficient. The more invoices you feed into this technology, the better it gets at reading and analyzing the invoices to provide audit comfort. And the last example of how the Big Four utilize technology in this article is through natural language generation. Natural language generation is an AI tool where text can be generated by computers. And Deloitte uses natural language generation to process upwards of 50,000 tax returns annually for clients' employees who have expat status or other complicated tax situations. And using this technology, Deloitte creates detailed narrative reports of individual tax returns, and its tax professionals can then rely on those reports to provide more targeted financial advice to those employees. Another cool thing in this article is Adelyn provides a quote from the book The Mathematical Corporation, which is a book that we've previously recommended on our site and on this podcast. And the quote is, "The most powerful weapon in business today is the alliance between the mathematical smarts of machines and the imaginative human intellect of great leaders. Together, they make the mathematical corporation, the business model of the future." That's a pretty powerful quote, and I'll provide a link where you can get our recommended reading for Big Four accounts that includes the mathematical corporation, and I'll include that link in the show notes. The article on Forbes by Adelyn Zhu provides some really good ways of how the Big Four are utilizing artificial intelligence to provide services to their clients. And these services are set to replace a lot of the monotonous tasks that accounting clients used to perform themselves, including accounting tasks and legal tasks. We're all going to need to become more technologically advanced as accountants, so it's good to stay up to date on all the uses of technology in the Big Four firms. And I'll provide a link to her article in the show notes. Now, to stay up to date on all the latest technological developments in accounting, make sure to subscribe to this podcast.
We appreciate your help in growing this podcast so we can continue to bring you the best Big Four content possible. You could help us out by providing a review on iTunes, sending us an email with your comments, and don't forget to share with your friends. There's a link below in the show notes. That's our show for today. Thanks for listening and have a great day.